Jayashri,
Yeah.
does your campaign focus on just one point, that's the early appointment of the Lokayukta, or have you put forward a set of demands?
See, there are two things. One is the short-term thing, short-term goal, and the others is the long-term goal, which we have to still discuss. See, because the core committee has been formed just last week, so we have to discuss what we have to go about in the long term. But the short term is very clear about the Lokayukta, appointment of the Lokayukta. In the long term, we need to focus on the strengthening of the institution and the amendment of the Lokayukta Act itself. Because as we see, there's been so many loopholes in the acts. See, for example, they have not laid down the procedure for appointment, procedure for consultation. See, these people, they take advantage of that, and they say that we have written to them, we have asked for the names, we don't know how they asked, and they don't put it in writing. And see, if the procedure is laid down, see, at least they should have a set of procedures which can be followed. Why can't they set a precedent? See, all these
So it
precedent
becomes
for
easier
new
next
things,
time.
it becomes easier. So the thing is, they said we followed the same thing what we did in the case of Shivraj Patil, and so they take the defense like that. So all these, we cannot allow that to happen. As vigilant citizens, I think we have to focus on all these issues also, about the police officers who are deputed there, because the police officers who are deputed there should have impeccable integrity, or they should, at least they should see that tainted officers are not posted. See, because once you post a tainted officer, the investigation carried out by that tainted officer will have no effect on the administration itself in general. Because now in the case of one recent raid, we have seen that the raid conducted by Mr. Satyanarayana, who is who's the ADGP of the Lokayukta, he conducted the raid on an officer, and even without waiting for the proper report of the Lokayukta and without taking any action on that, he has been given a very sensitive and very high post today. So even see, all these are things which we have to discuss properly. We have to give a memorandum to the Chief Minister to at least have some guidelines and checklists before transferring these officers to the Lokayukta institution. Because once what happens is, once they come back to their home department, again these police officers, they are the honest police officers who are posted there, there's a fear of harassment once they come back to the home department.
Justice Sandana, I saw in the list of demands that you put forward in that your note, you say that you want the government to bring citizens charter under Lokayukta. Is the Karnataka guarantee of services to citizens. Can you just throw some light on it?
If you'll permit, I'll answer the question, but just taking on for reasons of continuity, please. I just want to add something important to what Jayasri pointed out. We were shocked. We ourselves and everybody in Karnataka were shocked when over the weekend, within 24 hours, a name suddenly appeared and the person was sworn in the next morning as Lokayukta. Now this is something, it was something amazing and shocking to everybody in Karnataka, because whereas the Lokayukta post this tussle is going on for the last 4 months, suddenly somebody is, and he is sworn in and he is already taken office. Now I have written to the governor yesterday and delivered the letter to him, in which I pointed out something which is of immense importance, because Jayasri pointed out about the procedure, namely that when a name is proposed, that it should be made known to the citizenry. The reason being that if there are serious blemishes which have been covered up, number one, or which have been overlooked. And now in this particular case, there is material, and I have written to the governor and pointed out what the material is. And I have also pointed out that this material is substantial enough to have altered your decision. Now, had this material been placed before you, that material has been suppressed, that material has not been pointed out to him. As a result of which, the governor just went by the fact that all the 3 parties have recommended one. 2 is that he's an ex-High Court judge, he's qualified, and therefore he just appoints it. Now, I have pointed out there that henceforward, the name should be made known. I mean, there is nothing secret about it. Make the name known, and please wait for a reasonable period of time. So that you don't have to invite objections, but once it is made known, if anything comes forward, it should be considered.
Yeah,
and also I have requested the governor, I said, please point out on the basis of what I have recorded in this letter, that it's amazing as to how this very important material was, you see, it's on the record of the High Court, and the government also knows, and everybody in Karnataka knows that, you see, it's a very serious things, like for instance the Roost resort case in Mysore. Now you see, these are very serious issues, and if the person's name figured there, these are all areas which required consideration. How could the High Court have overlooked it? So please tell them to be careful in the scrutiny and not to suppress any material.
Yeah. I want to add one thing, because the justice will know very much about this, because even in the judge's declaration of 2002, Bangalore judge's declaration, it was very clearly pointed out that the judge should not suppress anything which will damage the institution. See where he is appointed. So even there was a responsibility on the part of the judges themselves to have declared so many things which would damage the institution, and they have, by suppressing those facts, they have today put the institutions in danger. See, and this declaration, it has been accepted world over now, and these people are not following it. See.
So you are not only talking about Lokayukta's appointment, but the appointment that has been made of the other judge, Lokayukta, that also you are taking up with the
Yes, definitely, yeah.
Because Mr. Balram, when we say that, look, please see that there is no time lag and please do it quickly. Now, if we are going right back to 1947, during British times, the appointment of a High Court judge used to be made so that on the day when the previous judge retired, the new one took over. Now, they could do it in those days. Why can't that procedure be done here? Now, humorously enough, I mean, this is common knowledge, that the government was so unhappy with my dear friend and colleague Justice Santosh Hegde, that they followed all the procedure, did everything, so that there was not even 1 day's time lag in his successor taking over. So it can be done.
It can be done.
It can, and it must be done. But now this rider is being added, that please don't hurry these decisions through, because otherwise there will be a disaster. Getting the wrong candidate there is also equally bad. And I would go to the extent of saying that when we talk about amendments, that we must put in a clause that if something important is overlooked, that there should be a provision for reconsideration and recall.
Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting.
That's important, because otherwise, like for instance today, let's assume that some important material was not there before the governor. Appointment is made, person is sworn in. Now the governor is powerless; he can't review his decision. Yeah. So then it would mean the long procedure of having to go to the High Court, and the High Court have to examine it, and the High Court have to strike down the appointment, etc. But till then, that person continues.
Continues, and the damage continues. See,
he can be recalled.
And the damage also continues. And these people will get ample time to manipulate records and do all sorts of things to escape punishment. Yeah.
Just Sadhana, I want you to talk.
Sorry,
about
I didn't get the previous question.
I'll say the question again. One of your demands is bringing citizens' charter also under Lokayukta. That is the Karnataka Guarantee of Services to Citizens.
Yes.
Either you can ask,
both of us, because Jayashree is the more competent. But I just summarize it this way by saying that I pointed out to you that there are about 500 to 600 complaints from the state in respect of corruption charges, which is bad enough. Now that is one sector, but the record shows that there are complaints running into at least 1500 to 2000 number wise per month in respect of non-action, inaction, and modified actions on the part. Now those are very, very serious issues, whether it is starting a vindictive departmental inquiry, or whether it's a question of not passing orders, or it's a question of vindictive transfers and things like that. Now these complaints are of immense importance to the citizens, and therefore we believe that the Lokayukta must address all of them. He has been doing it. For that matter, I don't know if you are aware, we have to fold our hands and thank Justice Shivraj Patil that in the month before he resigned, he worked day and night to clear the backlog in respect of this sector, and he disposed of 15,000 of those complaints. So that is why we insist, because see, that institution has got to, you see, once it shows that it will not only interfere but correct and give nyaya or justice to the citizens at all levels, the number of instances of misbehavior would go down. I noticed it in the courtroom when I was a judge. When I passed a strong order, I found that the mischief would stop. You know, it is human nature.
No, yeah, about this citizens charter.
Yes.
See, it's basically the public services which ultimately affects the common man. See, because any common man will be a beneficiary, or he wants something or the other from the government. So he gets he wants some service. So he'll approach them, and now the present public services bill which has been passed, again what they have done is they have just replicated the Bihar bill, and the thing is they don't want to consider what is good to us. So what is good to Bihar may not be good to us. So we need to, actually we gave a representation on this. We gave a representation on the public services bill. We said you categorize the services, because services are not, I mean, you cannot put all the services under one kind, you know. There are emergency services, there are services which can wait, there are services which cannot wait. See, all these are things which inner points of these public service bill. So we said you would categorize the service first. For emergency service, because it is a time bound bill, so you allot a different, make a different time bound plan, and for essential services a different plan, and for non-essential services which can wait, and this tatkal and all that, because all those we gave, but it doesn't have an effect on the people who really matter. So if it is brought under Lokayukta, as Justice clearly pointed out, that the Lokayukta institution has been addressing these things, but now even the punishment in the bill, it's barely a maximum of 500 rupees, which any officer will throw and get away.
In this campaign, you want to bring out all these things.
See, the thing is, Save Lokayukta is, it's creating an awareness to the citizen. See, because why do they give all false promises, false information to the public, and just say that we are addressing everything and something is being done, all your problems will be solved. See, all that is just an illusion. So we just want to create awareness through this Lokayukta.